All right, we are back.
Yep, we back. Part two. Welcome back to the triple option. All right, we're talking Jackson State now in hour number two.
Oh,
So let's go ahead and jump right on it. Jackson State. What's your thoughts on Jackson State? Especially O. Let's let O bring put a pretty bow, pretty little bow
oh.
on last week the FAM matchup. And look, I'll say this: I thought FAM was going to put up a much better fight. I personally thought it was going to be a high scoring matchup. But what was your take on that? We'll start with O.
Uh, I believe, like I said, that was Jackson State's first game. So obviously they had prepared all summer for that game, whereas FAMU had just came off a what was probably considered their Super Bowl, going to North Carolina and competing the way that they did, and going up against Jackson State was their letdown game after being on such a high, playing without 26 players, and now you come back and they came out flat. And when you come out flat against a team that literally went up and down the field on you, there was just no way that you were going to respond after that. So I tip my hat to Jackson State. They showed up because again they were prepared for this one game because this was their first game as opposed to I'm disappointed that FAM had a letdown, but I understand why they had the letdown.
And also, Sam has also gone through a student rebellion on top of all that. 'Cause,
On top of that,
have y'all? I mean, yes, it's the athletic department, but it's actually it's bigger. It's bigger than just the athletic department because your damn president's idiot. The
right?
president of the school is a damn idiot. I was watching something the other day.
Well, the one you mean the
This
one that
clown
left, right?
said,
You talking about the left?
He talking
I
about, I
said,
think, Jackson State.
president. No, I'm talking about
Oh,
FAM's
fam.
president. The
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
president, not the academic advisor. It's the president that's the problem. Yeah, I think they say the academic advisor left. He got fired, from what I gather. Am I right on? He
Right.
basically got pushed out. They say he left and he left them kids high and dry. No. Then not on top of that, these kids, because the new process, because they don't have an AD, because they're doing it his way, and he quotes needs someone from the family to run the athletic department. They don't have an AD. So all the stuff goes through his office and his staff. And they didn't do what they needed to do to get those kids eligible. That's the biggest problem. And then he says, well, I have a committee and I will look at this from week to week. Dude, what do you mean week to week? You still got, I think they got the majority of those kids eligible,
Yeah.
but there's still like 4 or 5 of them that's still in
Yeah.
limbo. And it's
Hmm.
nothing, and it has nothing to do with grades or anything else. It just has something to do with paperwork.
Yep.
Right.
And
Right. And that's a
they
lot
gotta
to
do that. They
And that's a good
gotta
point.
do better.
right. And there was a lot. There was a
Well, I'm
lot to
glad you made it
overcome.
there.
Yeah. And he showed they came out flat, and
Hmm.
you come out flat against, and then you let Jackson State get rolling.
Because
There you have.
because let's be honest. If last year when I was watching Shiloh, I was like, yeah, he's good. He's a middle of the road D1 quarterback. But actually, I got to see the kid really watch him last week and watch that he can make all the throws. I still think he forces his throws. He's not as smooth as I would like him to be. But the kid is actually a legitimate pro prospect. He's probably what I say out of the college quarterbacks I've seen so far this year, just out of what I've seen this year, fifth best.
Right.
And I'm only giving fifth best because those other quarterbacks I've seen already in their bigger schools because of their level of confidence. If like move Shiloh to Georgia, would you two be mad?
No, not at all.
He's probably more physically talented than Bennett.
Mm.
But
Exactly.
but it's not fair to say about George because ain't every quarterback probably more physically talented than Bennett?
But I'm
Like,
just saying, that's my point. My point being is that kid can fit in many programs, and he could be some of these. Well, I won't want him down there with Jimbo, but he will be what Jimbo's missing,
Yeah.
correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
he'd be better.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
I'll
let's
go as
also
far
throw
as
in some things.
I'll go as far as to say that he's better than that kid in Florida.
I'm not gonna say that.
Come on now,
But
come
I say
on
that.
now.
I'm not gonna say that.
Zach, did you not see that kid in Florida?
I did. He had a terrible game. But
No. Watch the game when they beat the first game when they beat Utah.
I did watch that.
Misreads on the options, misreads on the pass, and then he lacks any kind of touch. They shouldn't have lost that game last night. The reason they lost that game last night because they ran a damn 10-yard out and he threw the ball behind the receiver. And he called himself trying to guide the receiver. And he literally threw the ball behind him.
His 2 turnovers led to 10 points. But he has physical talent.
I wasn't even talking about the turnover. I'm talking about the last drive. Turnovers are what it is.
No, he had 2 terrible turnovers. Those 2 interceptions.
I got you. I understand they were his fault. But the last drive when they could have took the game and won it. It's 3rd and 4th downs. One was a bad read on the option, his fault. Number 2, he had a first down. 3 plays. They ran a 10-yard and tight end button out. He had to play. He throws the ball behind him. Not a hard pass. Bad. See what I'm saying? Yep. And then the one where he missed the wide open receiver for the first down. End of downs 4. Boom.
Well, he played
that more. I count that more than the turnovers early because that tells you the mindset of your quarterback when it comes time for nut cut time. That's just me.
Yeah.
I still like the physical gifts that he has, and he just has to learn how to play quarterback.
Right, but but obviously that's easy to game plan when I know he can't throw. A la Kentucky game, he only ran the ball for 7 yards.
Mm-hmm.
If you take away that ability, now I know he can't throw, and he's up and down, or his reads are slow. That's the game you're gonna get.
When you disguise your coverage,
that's why Emory was still the quarterback.
Well, you just asked me who I'm gonna choose between him and Shador, and
Shador is the quarterback.
Oh,
Shador is the quarterback. Shiloh's
is the safety.
Yeah.
I'll give him credit for what he's done, but he ain't done that against no D1 school. So it ain't nothing to make me believe that he would have played any better against Kentucky last night than what's his face. I like Richardson.
Put the physical gifts, put the reads and everything else you see. It doesn't matter what you do. I'm just looking at the raw. That's why we'll never be able to get a real read on the kid until the Senior Bowl and if he moves on to the league. But that's the same crap that everybody said about McNair, and we all kept seeing it.
Well, McNair, Richardson is a big young man. Orion was spot on, way too much hype for him, but I could see if he gets more refined as a quarterback. Like some of it, I don't blame on him. He doesn't have any of the finer points of playing quarterback. Like he don't have no fucking touch at all with the football. Like he ain't got none. Like he is scattershot. He throws the damn ball everywhere. Hey, like you said you in the gun club, Cal. Like when you got to go 0. Like his shit's all over the place. But I would still take a chance on him as a prospect.
Right. The Utah game, if anything, should have showed you that this game was coming based off that game.
Well, his thing is he should be able to run. I hate to say it felt like he was scared to run.
Plays out of no way, but when you actually played a legit team or defense, that changed.
Well, he didn't run at all yesterday for some reason.
I'm gonna become old school on y'all.
What's that?
I don't have a quarterback to run the ball. I have a quarterback to quarterback. I got running back to run the ball. I don't give a damn about him making him run.
Well, if he's not going to run the ball at this point, then he's not going to be as effective because that's kind of his calling card. He's got to be able to run the ball to go along with the pass.
Oh, well then that goes back to the question Mr. 411 asked. Give me Shador over a guy that I got running backs.
I was still.
I got a running back. I don't need a running back at quarterback.
I've seen Shador play against like I know we're going last year. Like Shador started more games than him, but when Shador played against the D1 team he played, they only scored like 3 or 7 points or something.
Right. So I see improvement from last year.
And I'm looking out a lot. You like to look at the scoreboards, Zach. What I tend to look at is his pocket presence, his poise, him reading the defense, him because you're right, because you can't compare them D1.
Yes, so you being unfair to what's fair, and this was like his second or third start.
How can I put it like this, Zach? If there's a two deep corner, a 2D safety, and press underneath, it's still the same read whether you at Jackson State, or you at App State, or you at Alabama, right?
Absolutely.
If the check downs to the running back, and you realize that you covered over top, you make that check off quicker. It's the science of doing the job doesn't change. It may just a split seconds may be faster, but if you mentally as a quarterback can do it, you can do it.
Right.
And I know you say scoreboard watch. Go back and tell me how good Shador did in that South Carolina State game. And that wasn't like his first game of the season. That was like game 11 or 12 after he's played a lot.
Right. But I can look at that
and tell me about the reads.
And look at these first 2 games.
I began this conversation last year. I wasn't so hot on him.
Well, I'm saying that's game 12.
I can't worry. I'm telling you what I got right now.
Well, you asking me to choose between you asked me if I was a coach to choose between them two. Kind of like a female told me a few weeks back. Size matters. I'm gonna take Richardson.
You'd be fired.
Well,
you'll be
guess what? I may be getting close.
Guess what? Because that motion in Shador's ocean is dangerous.
Yeah, you'd be fired.
No, I like Shador. I just
again,
Richardson has potential.
Yeah, because again, like I said, if you want to use what you calls last year tape, then all we got to do is go last year with Richardson.
Yeah, yes.
I
wouldn't draft Richardson.
I don't even know why he has the title of quarterback. Then you really want to go there?
Okay, here goes a better one: Mac Jones or Trevor Lawrence. Mac Jones had a better NFL season than Trevor Lawrence. I don't think anybody would take Mac Jones going forward over Trevor Lawrence because of Trevor Lawrence's physical attributes.
No, Mac Jones had a better team and all the ancillary.
There you go.
Nah, but you come up with the package. When you come up with Trevor Lawrence's, including the athleticism that's added to Trevor Lawrence and all the other intangibles, yes, I think Trevor Lawrence. I'm not disagreeing with the fact that there's a such thing as raw natural talent. But what I'm trying to tell you is, and maybe the boy will develop. It happens because I'm to this day I still don't believe Josh Allen is who he is. I just can't. I refuse to. I refuse to. I refuse. He is what he is now. He is everything that he thinks he is. But just in my heart, I can't. I've never been that long in my life. But anyway.
Okay, well, let me try to put up. Oh, go ahead, Corey. Finish your thoughts, and I'm gonna put a bow.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, not a bow. I'm just gonna try to thread y'all together. So what it sounds like is
wow.
Yeah, what it sounds like is from
what's good, fish?
Big fish, little boat. All right, but it sounds like
Alabama
what Zach is saying.
No, Big Fish is a Philly guy. He's a Philly guy. He's a pro guy.
Oh, Philly guy. Okay. All right. But it sounds like with the Shador discussion and bringing up the quarterback from Florida, Am I right? The Florida quarterbacks, what we're talking about too.
Yes.
You're looking at like, okay, what it sounds like is Corey's looking at the attributes, the current attributes of Sanders. Zach, you're looking more at the physical attributes of the quarterback for Florida and what level he's playing at now. And I also heard somewhere in there that if you take Shador and put him on a team, let's just say an SEC team, now he has other weapons to work with at that level. And so it's kind of apples to oranges thing. But I will say this: Sanders is something that Coy mentioned last week. Is that sometimes quarterbacks are, they're groomed, and it looks like Shador has been groomed for this. He can get on the phone and talk to Tom Brady.
Yes.
And get pointers.
Oh, he's well coached.
He can
see that. He's well coached.
Yeah. And so I think a lot of those things are going to come into play as he matures. And I'm not sure how much longer he's going to play quarterback in college. I don't know if he's going to leave after his third year or he's going to play all four. But by the time that comes around, I do think he's going to be,
I'm going to say this.
he could be somewhere in the, I would say somewhere in the mid first round.
Right.
Just going by what I see now.
I'm going to say this.
This is his sophomore year, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If he continues to play like he's playing and he ends up at that school past his third year, Deion failed that boy as a parent, and he's a damn selfish ass coach.
Why would you say that?
Because
Okay, you heard me.
Because after this third season, after that third season, if he continues what he is, he can go make his money in the league. What more do he have to prove? He's not going to be playing for titles because at the end of the day, you are at Jackson State, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason you're going to stick around,
you're stuck playing in the Celebration Bowl, so you'll never be able to go to the playoffs.
Right. And the only reason you stick around is because you're trying to push your dad's legacy. And I've said it before, that is not these kids' fight. Because what's going to happen is if Shador stays, and then he's going to eventually leave. The thing that Deion and that ilk Deion's trying to supposedly, in theory, trying to prove is that he's building a viable program. And if you got to keep this kid longer than he needs to be there, that means you ain't building a viable program. That means you're just holding that kid back.
That makes sense.
That makes total sense, and I don't think that's the direction he's going based on some of the things I've heard him say. And yeah, like you say, if he's ready to go, he's going to be gone because they're already recruiting quarterbacks now as we speak to replace him.
Because I mean, we know like I said, it's his exit to the next team. His next team is tied to how many years Shador plays. So if he has one more year, then that's how long Deion has.
Well, we'll definitely find out. But let's bring it back to some more talk because we said our thoughts on Jackson State, and I know we got hung up there on the quarterback. But what about some other things from Jackson State that you're noticing?
That
number four is Polish. He's a pro. He's viable pro prospect quarterback. I mean a wideout. Shiloh, late round maybe. Because he's going to have to get he's decent.
And he's injured too.
Yeah, but he's decent.
And Travis Hunter is a man amongst
everything they said he was.
Yeah, and he's a man. He's a man amongst boys out there. It's not. It wasn't even fair versus FAMU. The coverage that he was doing to the receivers. That was criminal.
Matter of fact, he is.
That was criminal.
What was the kid from LSU that won in the first round last year? What's his face? The youngster.
Was it Stingley?
Yes.
Stingley. He's probably a step below, maybe a shade, not much. Or he might be equal to him. He's as good as that kid was when he was a freshman at LSU. That's so.
That's saying
and
a lot.
I put it like that.
Stingley was excellent. Like Stingley's the best freshman corner I've ever seen.
You remember those days? You remember those days? What I saw with Hunter reminded me of like Little League, where you'd be like, can we make sure that this kid is age? This is not fair. Like, come on, we got to get other kids a chance to catch the ball. Like, you can't have this kid out here. Like that's what it
Yeah.
looked like. Those
Y'all,
FAMU
no, you remember
receivers,
when BG, remember when Little Hood was over at Eastway?
yes,
Oh, Roger Hood. Yeah.
yeah,
Every time you touch
that's
the ball, it's touchdown. Yeah.
right. That's what it looked like. I mean, that was it. That was terrible. Like, and we know poor Eddie George didn't have a chance. I mean, did he score
They scored 3.
He
3
scored 3
points? Like,
yesterday. Yeah.
yeah. Imagine
Mm,
if Shiloh was out
what
there
you
too.
think? What you think, Zach? Fish asked,
Jack,
was he like Kevin Joseph type? What you think?
uh,
Uh,
overall, Jackson State has a very talented roster. I think it for me, it's a shame. Like y'all just hit on it that they got to go to the Celebration Bowl. I'd love to be able to see them compete against everybody. I guess a higher level competition because on their schedule, I don't think they're gonna have any competitive games this year, and that
Unless they
that kind of
play
sucks
that
for me.
unless they play down to
uh,
the
Yeah,
competition.
Fish, I
I'd
would say
agree.
he's probably a step. He's close to the Kevin Joseph, but I actually think that kid got a higher top end than him. So
Yeah.
he's gonna
And
be.
another thing too is that what I like that Dion's bringing to the program, and as he says, is like we're gonna use the headset equipment, like the major programs use.
Yeah,
He brought in analytics to his staff. He even said that on the plane ride over to Miami before they played fam, Shiloh, I mean not Shador was sitting up with the coordinator, and they pretty much went over every counter to
That's
whatever
good.
blitz package that FAMU had. They had a counter for everything, and so you could see that he's bringing a uh, professional football level type of preparation to
They
a
got
program, and they need
they
and
got
that needs
Mike
to spread out
Zimmerman.
through all programs. Yeah, and brought
Well,
Right.
in Mike
They
Zimmer as
got
well.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah. I
saying.
mean that
It's
said it all right
unfair.
there.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
if you were
absolutely.
gonna say it's unfair, I mean, and he probably got these ideas from Coach Saban because he's bringing in all these damn high level coaches
Good
to be
point.
on his
Good
damn
point.
coaching staff.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm sure
which is
Coach
smart.
Saban is mentoring him.
Yeah, good point.
Um. Hmm.
You don't think
I
that,
believe
Corey? You don't think he's getting any information from Saban?
or better yet, if Deion Sanders is doing these commercials with Coach Saban and he has access to Coach Saban, kind of like he's saying about his son that he can call up Uncle Peyton and Uncle Tom, it's on Deion to go seek the mentorship. Like Saban doesn't
Hmm.
I got
have
you.
to give it.
I got you.
So
But also, let's say
if he ain't doing that, that's on him.
arbitrarily just out
Yeah,
of the blue one day took a shot at his ass. He said, "Hell, Jackson State paid $1 million for a kid." I mean, that should tell you how Saban. He might have did it in the beginning. Nick might have thought it was cute, but he don't think it's cute anymore.
I I I don't think Saban care. I think Saban has a sometimes rough time getting off the points that he wants to get. I believe y'all kind of hit on it earlier that he
He's
don't
an
really care
asshole.
about A&M. He cares more about that these were players that I wanted and A&M got them. Not that A&M gonna get them and they gonna beat me.
yeah, yeah. All right, hello there. Who that, babe? We appreciate you.
Hey, who that, babe?
Big fish, little boat.
Hi, who that
Appreciate you as
babe?
well. I got to work on my name. And work on my
I
name
heard
game.
I heard
But
that
yeah,
there was for that game.
go
It
ahead.
was a
Oh,
huge crowd too. It was
You know what, Fish? These dudes, you just wait. They loving everything you saying about the damn Philly coaching staff. I know that dude up there on the top left is.
exactly. Oh, one more thing about Shadur, guys. His father. Obviously, y'all know Dion played baseball,
Did he?
and you see what he's doing right there in this image, right? You see what Dion's doing, right?
right. Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
I need to see. I need to see Shadur do a little more of that too.
yeah.
Oh,
Some of the
Shador
film I'm
slides. He
watching,
does
he's.
slide. He does slide. He doesn't take the hits. He does
I,
not take the hits. Unless he think he can get down, he got to get out of that extra yard mentality. But I have noticed that when he gets
yeah,
open, when he gets out there,
you
he gets
saw
loose.
that.
Oh, he's ducking. He's ducking. He's ducking. He ain't taking the hit. So somebody tell him to get his ass down.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah, because I think he got
but
a
make
little
sure you
ahead of
do that.
himself in that. Yeah, in that first half, I think against Fam, I think he did try to take on. He did try to put his shoulder down. And I think that very next time, that baseball slide that he did was you thought he was on a slip and slide. Like he learned.
Yeah, he can't do like Josh Allen. He needs to.
No.
Josh Allen is a big boy. He needs to be like. Don't try to be out there stiff arming and running over people like him. He ain't a good example.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm really trying to see, I really want to see the showcase of his arm strength. It's I don't know. I just a couple of his deep balls. I'm like, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't want to steal the what you call, but I can tell you. Can we put Eddie George on the hot seat, please?
No.
Oh,
he's in over his head. Well, I call in over his head.
Eddie George don't want to coach. Eddie George don't want to coach anyway.
Huh?
I said Eddie George don't want to coach anyway.
Well,
he wouldn't care.
I wish he would go ahead and quit. Like he's doing a disservice to some kids, man. What was that little tantrum that he did on the sideline? What was that? Like really? Man, get out of here with that, man.
He probably be happy they fired him. He'd be like, okay.
Man, I wish they would go ahead and fire him.
Well, look across the bottom. We're gonna shift to that topic since you already brought up Eddie George. So he's one of your
candidates. On there just off the fact he's on the hot seat just because of his incompetence.
Well, he didn't want to coach.
Well, I wish he would go ahead and just right now say, hey, you know what? This is a little bit for me. I appreciate the opportunity, but
he gonna make them fire him and pay him.
Gosh. I wouldn't even pay him.
Where's Fisher? I mean,
pay him for what?
Where's
he
Fisher?
He hasn't done anything.
Can he try to get Fisher on staff with him? What y'all think about that?
He needs somebody.
Stop
bad.
If you
follow,
what's Fisher? Where's Fisher doing these days? I don't know what he's doing these days.
If Jeff Fisher were to join a coaching staff at a HBCU, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna say that statement. Like it ain't no reason for me to say it.
Well,
I think it's highly unlikely Jeff Fisher would join that coaching staff.
I'm adding Eddie George to the list to go with Scott Frost. Those are the two right now. I don't know who's Scott Frost.
Yeah, Scott Frost is not on the hot seat.
No, he's on the way out.
Yeah, he's fired. He ain't on the hot seat. He's done. Like it's done. They gone. Like they already got his paperwork done. He's done.
So we're mentioning Frost, right? He was doing a tremendous job, like a Cinderella job at UCF, Central Florida, and he left for the Nebraska job. So hindsight 2020, what do y'all think about his decision on making that move?
Idiot. But I thought he was an idiot then, because I'm gonna say once again, who wants to go play? And I said Omaha, but Calvin correct me, Lincoln. Who wants to go play football in Lincoln, Nebraska in this day and age? I know we got our boy Terrell. And that was way back in the day. But now that we done got past all this segregation and we kind of can stay in the South and do all our good things now, ain't nobody trying to go to Lincoln, Nebraska.
There wasn't no segregation when Farley went, Zach.
It has been the trickle-down effect of us migrating back to the South and the South building up and things of that nature.
I got you, man.
It didn't just end in say the 70s, and all of a sudden we ran back down to the South. It took time. Like we didn't just it's over, y'all. Let's go. Let's get it. It took a minute.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yes, you are correct.
So Zach is clear though. He's clear that Frost, man, you should have just stayed in Central Florida. You had something going there, man. Had something special happen.
I mean, I get it. You want to come back to your alma mater, but that was a big mistake.
Like you go to that, like Dabo Swinney. If Dabo Swinney goes back to his alma mater, that's Alabama, that's a good choice. Kirby Smart going to his alma mater, that's the University of Georgia, that's a good choice. If your alma mater is USC, that's a good choice. If your alma mater is Iowa, Nebraska, Iowa State, like
I got one for you, then. Dale going to Auburn.
Auburn, look, Auburn ain't a bad choice. Like those are places where you can get kids.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that job will be available soon.
I think they should get the Kentucky coach. Like he wouldn't be a bad coach because he can coach. He's recruited in Kentucky. Yeah.
To go to leave Kentucky to go to Auburn.
If they're gonna get somebody. Because who they gonna get?
Well, he just passed Bear Bryant in Kentucky for most wins there.
Kentucky is nice. If you're trying to play real football, you don't stay at Kentucky. John Calipari said it, and they got mad. But Kentucky
we
is
heard
a basketball
about that.
school.
Yeah, I was just about to make that point where Calipari was like, "Wait, it's still a basketball school. Let's not get it twisted."
Yeah, like I mean, and he's done a good job there. You don't that ain't a retirement job if you can help.
But then to me that would be almost like what Frost did. I don't know if I'm Stoops. I'm going to Auburn because I don't know if where I'm at is the. I mean, as long as I win 9 to 10 games, like I think the job security is a lot better there. If I go to Auburn and I only win 8, how long am I going to be there?
Don't win 8. Win more than 8.
Right. I don't know if I'm going into
No. It's not win 8. It's not win more than 8. It's win the game.
Right.
If you can't go down to Auburn and win the game, you're going to get fired after the third season of not winning the game.
Right.
And that game is
you're not gonna beat Alabama on you're not gonna beat Alabama on a consistent basis.
What the hell? Nobody should go to Auburn then. If that's what y'all tell me. Nobody should take the Auburn job.
Nobody like that. Where I'm gonna lose where I'm at now. I'm not leaving there. I'm not leaving a breadwinner to go there with that pressure.
Yeah, but it's Kentucky. I'd make them pay me a lot of money and I go to Auburn.
Yeah. I mean,
okay. What about these two guys? Are they under pressure?
Well,
yeah.
Well, Calvin said it about Kelly. Kelly's offseason already put him on the hot seat. And in game 1, like he did about everything in game 1 that you could do to it. Like you have all these miscues, you down big, but then you get everybody's hopes up because you tie the game. And it's like, we can come back and we can do this and do it overtime, and then you miss the damn extra point. Oh, I'm sorry, extra point gets blocked. Like
I mean,
that was a terrible
I don't understand how you come out flat for your very first game after everything in the offseason and all the talk. Like for you to come out and play like this at home. I mean, that's literally at home. If you playing in the whatever that is now.
Tell them hot tub.
Yeah.
Tell them hot tub.
So yeah, he's definitely on the hot seat because you're gonna have to beat Alabama. Now you talking about the Auburn job where they got to win D game. What do you think what do you think Kelly got to do now?
Well, and kind of to what you said,
or Arkansas.
Oh, absolutely, and kind of what you were saying about leaving Kentucky to go to Auburn. He ain't got no excuses now because his excuse before when he was at Notre Dame is that, well, I can't get the players in for educational or academic reasons or what have you. You can get all the players now, and you in a place where you got players they can play in between the Louisiana area and in Houston. He ain't got no excuse to be able to compete physically. That game 1 was all about coaching and nothing else.
Zach Kelly is a brick. He has no personality. He doesn't fit in LSU. Hell, he been better off going to damn Auburn.
You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of Chip Kelly going to UCLA.
Exactly.
That's
USC.
Exactly
Chip went to USC.
Yep. And luckily Chip Kelly kind of have turned it around a little bit, but there's no way Kelly's turning it around at LSU. Well, I don't believe in him as a coach. No players don't either.
I'm gonna go back on his coaching resume that I thought he's been a pretty good coach.
What coaching resume?
That
he didn't play in the conference, so it was easy for him to get to the playoff every year. So it looked like he was a great coach. You mean that?
I'm with you. I hate Chip Kelly too.
Hey, let's get to the end of the year and see when Marcus Freeman is gone. Like 6-6 or 7-5, how we
Well,
look at what Kelly did.
I agree. Freeman is no better, but
Because
he'll be able to do exactly what Chip Kelly did to save his job for a long time. I'm not in the conference and win a couple of good games here or there.
Is he? Because he's already 0-2. Like I said, 6-6 is on the horizon, maybe.
But did anybody expect with this team though to even go? I didn't think that they were that
somebody
good.
had him at somebody had him at number 5 in the country last week, and then number 8 this week.
No, but I wouldn't expect them to lose to Marshall.
No, I didn't expect that. I agree there.
Like that. And I like Freeman, and I'm pulling for Freeman, but look, it's hard to pull for Freeman. Look, he ain't got no cover when he lose to Marshall at home.
Right. All the goodwill that he got for competing against Ohio State.
Oh yeah, that's
went
gone.
out of the window.
Yeah.
with this.
Oh yeah. Right. Good
that's
point
gone.
there.
Because he had, remember, it was everyone said they were going to get blowed out. So he put on a great, just to even compete in that game and really be up at one point. So to do all of that and then to turn around and to lay an egg against Marshall,
I told you about that defense coordinator, though the offense was the problem yesterday. But beware of a defensive coordinator that might want a head coaching job, or any coordinator that might want a head coaching job.
Yep.
All right. Exactly is this guy on the hot seat?
I said yes, but Calvin pointed out appropriately that because of his contract and the big payout, no, but he should be.
Yeah, he
Fish, you're preaching to the choir. You're right. Yeah. Fish says Notre Dame was never good. Maybe in the 50s. You're preaching to the choir. They got the most money.
Yeah, because in our lifetime, outside of '88 and maybe that the run they had, late '80s, early '90s or whatever.
And who was their head coach at the time?
Holtz. When have they been good since then?
One of the sneakiest and shadiest coaches.
Right. Yeah, I don't think Fisher is on the hot seat per se, as far as being fired, but let this continue to be a bad year after all those recruits. Whew. Man, the talk, because we know what's coming. So
you're gonna see. We know
that Bama game is coming. So before he gets there, it better not be spiraling before then.
Watch what happens. You're gonna see a high dollar assistant head coach come in play. That's what's gonna happen to Fisher ass. Watch. They're gonna go out there and find their next coach that's gonna be on that staff with him because they don't want to pay Fisher because they don't want to buy out that contract yet.
Seen them do it
before.
Who's on that staff?
That's a great question, because they all need to be reprimanded.
Right, because right now, like you said, for you to have those level of recruits, somebody's not doing something in that position group meeting.
Absolutely. And how you don't have a quarterback? Like, that's your specialty.
Yep. All right, guys, we got about 15 minutes to go. We're going to transition into a week 3 preview. And as we work into this transition, I'm going to mention a couple of things. One thing that was overlooked, and I had it in my notes to bring this to the forefront, is that even at especially the HBCU level, kicking game is not something that is really, that the level of play is known for. But Deion has definitely improved that, because he struggled with that last year, and he did make vows to fix that, and he's brought in a legitimate kicker this year. And then also yesterday, it was a game later on that night, but we didn't talk about BYU and their victory over Baylor. So quick thoughts on that before we preview week 3.
Did you watch that game?
I did not.
Did you see it too?
No, I wasn't home to watch that one.
It was not a very clean play game. Baylor runs a spread offense and their quarterback is garbage. BYU They had poor quarterback play too. It was more or less. It got when I shut it down last night. It got a little bit
Okay.
late and they opened it up a little bit, but neither one of those teams are worth mentioning.
Wow. Neither
Neither
one.
one. No.
And
Nah,
and, and
it's BYU. Did you see that game? No. BYU. Yeah, they're
And,
not.
Oh,
They're not gonna be.
well,
I mean,
I think Baylor will still be in the mix only because they'll probably win the Big 12. I mean, aren't they the defending champ?
they are.
That's saying a lot about the Big 12
Right.
more so than saying it about Baylor.
Right. That's my point. They're gonna probably just still be in there by default because of that.
Texas and or Oklahoma better be winning the Big 12, or
Now,
they
now,
coaches gonna have
Fish.
some
Okay, you know
hard
what?
looks.
Fish did make the point, which I'm gonna go with. BYU has an O line and D line. That's yes,
yeah,
they do have that.
and BYU does have a track record of being
Yeah.
competitive, and they do pop up and beat teams from time to time, and this was a opportunity to get one.
I was about to say that, Fish.
Yeah,
Yes, BYU got a line to the Samoans. Yes, you're exactly
yeah, they do.
right.
Yeah, they got a pipeline. They got a pipeline for getting Samoans. They
Yeah,
even
they
had
do.
fullback one time, Samoan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
I
okay.
think
So we're gonna transition to week 3 when you got any final comments there, before we go to week 3?
I'm good.
Okay. So let's jump into week 3. We got about 10 more minutes here. We can preview week 3. Any matchups that come to mind, fellas?
Miami at Texas A&M.
That's what I'm saying.
My
Like this is going. That was my whole point earlier. It's about the spiral because if you lose that one, like it's gonna continue to go downhill.
And that's why I go back to, if you're Jimbo Fisher, what your job is as the leader, all our goals are still in front of us. We can win our division, we can win the conference, we can make the college football playoff, and then win the national championship. Now, next
Oh,
week you get to see how viable that is, but that's what you tell everybody.
Did y'all see the score from Wisconsin? Watch that game yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and guess what? That's the same thing they preaching on their end too. I mean, that's all you can do. But specifically Jimbo, with all the money he's got, he's got to go out, put a good face, and you go beat Miami, and maybe you make everybody forget about the App State loss until you play Alabama.
Well, we know what.
How about the
we know what OU Nebraska is going to bring.
Oh yeah, Frost is already packing his house.
Yeah.
He already talked to the wife.
Yeah. And as far as Georgia, South Carolina, 60-40.
You think we scoring 60 points?
No, I'm saying keep the ratio 60-40. Don't go in
with
there
the
and
run
try
pass
to
ratio?
Yeah. I mean, we saw that who just beat South Carolina this week? Arkansas.
Put up 44 points.
Exactly.
Yeah, Big Fish, Little Fish likes that matchup. He said it should be a good game. Well, he said it could be good.
It should not. It should be a blowout. We should win by 30 plus.
Connecticut. I'm curious to see a little bit more of Michigan and see what they really are. But we may have to wait a few more games for you to see them. Because right now they beat.
There's your Texas.
Yes, Texas State, Jackson State's future opponent that Jackson State's gonna beat down. So in 2023, that's a terrible trip for Jackson State, but good that they'll be able to recruit people.
All right. Any other matchups, gentlemen?
I don't think there's much for week 3. We'll have to be looking for upsets, but I don't think there's much there.
Appreciate that, Fish.
Maybe watch Alabama.
Fish.
Yes, thank you, Fish.
I just do the college football with them, Fish, and every once in a while we might pop in out on some other stuff. But these guys actually do an in-depth draft, pretty much fantasy, the whole gamut of NBA and NFL, which is your two things. Now, in other sports, not really. But you might want to check. You want to check my boys. My boys get deep in it.
And I was gonna say
Get in the
Alabama
mud.
next week.
Appreciate that,
I
Quay.
want to see. I want to see how they look, and I'll probably look at Ohio State because those are, at least in my mind, Georgia's competition for the title, and maybe USC. Like
You got.
USC, I'm not into them yet, but
I'm not into them, but they
just
look
keep
better than I
watching.
thought they were.
Yeah, just keep watching just to see what's gonna
I'm
happen with them.
looking at if I you got Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, USC, Ohio State. Am I missing somebody's at
Uh,
Oklahoma? Oklahoma by default.
I think Oklahoma
Um,
and until Oklahoma and Texas get eliminated, I'll be. They probably have a chance because the Big 12 ain't that great. Somebody's gonna win it.
Texas has been eliminated. But let's keep it moving.
They have not. In fact, they're gonna get credit for having a close loss to Alabama. Like that was almost as good as a win for them, and they lost their quarterback Ewers. So if they can just
Right.
stay
That's why
afloat,
they're out of it. That's why they're out of it.
well,
Because
because of
without
Ewers,
him, they're not winning the games with that quarterback already gimping
yeah,
on a bad ankle.
he's
Without
rough.
without him, and it looks like based on that shoulder, he's probably out.
But that's why I said if they can figure a way to stay afloat. I mean, it's the Big 12. I ain't trying to be funny. The Big 12 defense ain't that damn good. Like Alabama held them to 19. The Big 12 defenses give up in the 30s and 40s like it ain't nothing. So that's on that coach they paid a lot of money, Sarkisian, to figure out how to score points. That's why he gets the big bucks.
They'll be okay. I mean, they got University of Texas, San Antonio, Texas Tech, West Virginia.
Oh, man, that's a tough schedule.
I
Right.
I don't
Before
want to
they
go
get
against
those
them guys.
He said,
Oh yeah,
Hey.
Penn State.
It's right up
y'all
there.
all read that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's a murderous row.
Well, I'm just saying, like they'll you saying they can still be competitive. Like they really don't have anything until the Oklahoma game in 2 weeks, 3
Stay
weeks,
afloat.
Yep.
and then
Hey, big fish
now
in the
it
boat.
gets hard. So they better have him back by the end.
Yeah. What about Penn State, gentlemen? Big fish, little boat brought up Penn State before we get out of here.
Yeah, they playing Auburn. They got Auburn, right?
That'll be
No problem.
that'll be a sum. But Penn State, they got it. I think they're in the same division with Michigan State, and Ohio State.
Yeah. Well,
Like that's their barometer. Can you beat those teams? Like you need to beat at least 2 or 3.
There's
Actually,
another
Penn State to actually do well against Ohio State is they choke against Michigan and Michigan
everybody
State.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's my hot seat coach. Like how long is he gonna continue to always flub up a big game? He seems to be competitive in one sense. Then they say, "Oh, remember Penn State was really supposed to be in the mix,"
Yeah.
and then it fell apart. Yeah. That's 3 years in a row they've done this. Being in control of the Big 10 or Big 12 only to collapse. Like, how long can James Franklin continue to do this?
Well, they just gave him a new contract last year, and I ain't trying to be funny. I like it. Who wants to go play at Penn State? Like this is where we go. Who's trying to go up to Pennsylvania to play football? They just got they are what they are.
They used to get the Bobby the Bobby Ingrams,
the linebackers. Yeah.
LeVar Arringtons.
Look, I done told y'all about segregation. they ain't got they don't have the pool up there to get the players that they want because them players back down south now.
Well, I mean,
then why does Ohio State manage that?
They a national brand, and I ain't trying
Penn
to be funny.
Penn State is actually a national brand.
Are they?
Yeah.
Not so much as they used to be.
And Calvin, and when you talk about Ohio State, tell me how many national championships have been won from teams that ain't in the South? Because Ohio State has like 2 since the 70s or whatever. USC has like 2. Michigan has like 1. Nebraska has your 3. it ain't many of them. If you want to go, Penn State has two, though. I think Penn State won one of them in the 70s, but they got one in like the 80s. If you win in national championships, you probably a team that's in the southern region of the country.
Yeah, they beat us from going back to back with that. Your favorite player.
Oh,
greatest
player in Georgia history.
I'm not gonna say his name because he did work at the FBI, but
he won us a national championship. Why you got
a problem
FBI,
with him? I probably shouldn't say that. So
he won us a national championship. So
right. I mean, and he worked for the FBI. Don't forget that.
Oh my God, I don't care about. I care about what he did for Georgia. But Penn State is probably an 8-9 win team. Like they can't. A lot of it is just your resources. That's like expecting Vanderbilt to win 10 games. It just ain't happening like that.
They brought Franklin in to do what? To finish third to Ohio State and Michigan every year. That's that's what they did. Paid him that money for that.
Well, Orion, we kind of talked about this, that how we do interviews. I'm sure you done interview some people, and they be thinking, our boy Kevin Samuel that I used to love, he used to have these conversations with women and be like, well, what do you think you are? And she's like, oh, I'm an 8.5. Well, how many kids you got? How many baby daddies they got? How much money you make? What size? What size? What's your dress size or whatever? Your pants size? And then also he said, well, you probably not an 8.5. You probably a strong 6. So that's Penn State. Penn State think like Penn State and Nebraska. They think they 8.5s, 9s because this is like they think they in the 80s and the 90s or whatever. But they like strong 6s. You ain't like you just, if you at the bar and guys they're trying to pick up somebody and they walk up to you and they do their hair when you come up to the bar and all this other stuff and you smiling or whatever, and then you put you on, hey, excuse me, ma'am, I'm trying to talk to her over there. Ain't nobody trying to holler at Penn State and Nebraska. Penn State is it just is what it is. And I'm not trying to be funny. So he can be on the hot seat, but okay, you just gonna replace him. I think you talked about not Bill Callahan, but who was it? Bo Pelini. Yeah. Bo Pelini was winning 10 games at Nebraska, and Nebraska was like, damn it, we should be winning 11, 12 and competing for the net. And okay, and look what's happened since. You just are what you are. And James Franklin, I ain't gonna put him on a hot seat because I don't expect nothing from Penn State.
Damn, Zach.
like I ain't buying Penn State a drink. Hey, I'm gonna tell you when you get with Penn State, and you know this. Oh, I'm gonna leave you to committed married men off of this, but it's it's about 1:15, 1:30. You done struck out at the bar, and all of a sudden you see whoever it is over there, and you like, damn. Oh well, I guess I got to do something. And then there you go. Before the lights come on at a quarter till.
Oh man, Zach, look. Well, you making a fan of Big Fish, Little Boat. All right. Well, look, gentlemen, this has been fun, man. Again, another one in the books, and we'll get together again in a week, and we'll talk about week 3 and preview week 4. And something's going to happen again. I mean, who would have thought all these upsets would happen this week? And so we're going to have another tremendous week. But I definitely appreciate you guys being on.
Always, my brother.
Yeah. Calvin, can you make sure Alabama don't lose till they play us? Like, should nobody be beating y'all but us? That's
okay,
our
Zach,
pleasure.
I'll call Saban.
Yes. Don't go out there. Don't lose to nobody but us.
All right, we'll work on that. All right.
Well, appreciate everybody watching. Corey, Zach, appreciate y'all being on. Thank you, everybody. Hit that.
Appreciate my gun fans for stopping by, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you for everybody joining the show. We appreciate it. I hope y'all are now dog fans.
Bye, Zach. I'm out.
All right, we out. Later.